Keanu Reeves had no idea that a simple stop at Bella's Pizza in Ridgewood would lead to a moment that would shake him to his core. Under the soft glow of streetlights, the quiet hum of the town seemed ordinary, but inside the pizzeria, something extraordinary was about to unfold. The cozy shop, filled with the familiar sense of fresh dough and melting cheese, held a secret that would soon intertwine with the Hollywood star's path. For the unsuspecting patrons, it was just another peaceful evening, until Keanu walked through the door. The chime above the entrance rang softly as he stepped inside, his humble demeanor drawing a ripple of whispers. "Is that Keanu Reeves?" a voice murmured in awe. Clad in a worn leather jacket, jeans, and a simple black t-shirt, Keanu moved through the room with an effortless grace, nodding politely to the other diners. His calm smile seemed to melt the room's initial tension. At the counter, Ethan, a teenage cashier with wide eyes, struggled to keep his composure. "One large pepperoni and a bottle of water, please," Keanu said, his voice as steady and warm as his smile. Ethan nodded quickly, fumbling with the register, the moment already burned into his memory. Before we dive into this story, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest stories. Now, let's get started. As Keanu stepped aside, waiting for his order, his gaze wandered to a bulletin board filled with flyers and announcements from the local community. Yet, the hum of conversation in the shop suddenly faded into the background as a hushed exchange caught his ear. Near the soda machine stood two boys, their whispered words laced with urgency. "Liam, are you sure we have enough?" The younger boy, whose freckled face barely reached his brother's shoulder, asked nervously. In his small hands, he clutched a few crumpled bills and loose coins. Liam, taller and older, glanced at the counter, his jaw tightening. "We'll figure it out, Owen," he said, though his voice carried more doubt than certainty. The boy's posture told a story of quiet resilience. Liam stood protectively close to Owen, shielding him from the curious glances of other patrons. Owen's eyes flickered between the coins in his hand and the steaming pizzas being served at nearby tables, his hunger evident. Keanu's heart ached as he observed the scene. He wasn't new to witnessing hardship, but something about the raw vulnerability of these boys struck him deeply. He thought of how often struggles like theirs went unnoticed or dismissed. The elder boy whispered again, "Let's just wait outside. Maybe Mom will be back soon." His words were like a spark that ignited something in Keanu. It wasn't just the hunger or the worry in their voices. It was the weight of trying to hold things together when the world seemed determined to pull you apart. Keanu took a step closer, his decision made. Keanu took a breath, approaching the boys with a quiet determination. He crouched slightly, meeting them at eye level, and offered a warm smile. "Hey there," he said gently. Both boys flinched, startled by his sudden presence. Liam instinctively stepped in front of Owen, his protective instincts on full display. "Don't worry," Keanu added, his voice soothing. "I couldn't help but notice you seem a little stuck. Is there anything I can do to help?" Liam hesitated, his pride wrestling with their predicament. "We're fine, sir," he said, his tone polite but firm. Yet Owen's stomach betrayed him with a loud growl, cutting through the silence. Keanu couldn't help but chuckle softly. "How about we make a deal?" Keanu offered, his eyes warm with kindness. "I've already ordered some food, but I'd love some company while I eat. What kind of pizza do you like?" Owen's eyes lit up for a moment before darting nervously to Liam, who nodded reluctantly. "Cheese," Owen said quietly, his voice barely above a whisper. Keanu straightened, gesturing to Ethan behind the counter. "Add a large cheese pizza to my order," he called out, his calm authority leaving no room for hesitation. Ethan nodded quickly, his admiration for Keanu evident as he worked. As they waited, Keanu led the boys to a corner table. At first, the boys sat stiffly, unsure of what to say. Keanu broke the ice with an easy smile. "So, what's your favorite dinosaur?" he asked, glancing at Owen. Owen's face lit up, his shyness melting away. "Rex!" he exclaimed, suddenly animated. "They're strong and fast, and they could crush anything with their teeth." Keanu nodded enthusiastically. A solid choice. When I was your age, I thought the same thing. Did you know they could grow up to 40 feet long? Meanwhile, Liam, emboldened by his brother's ease, opened up. I want to be a firefighter someday, he said, his voice steady but soft. Like the ones who saved our house last year. Keanu's smile softened. That's an amazing goal, Liam. Firefighters are some of the bravest people out there. You'll make a great one. Their pizzas arrived shortly after, the steam wafting from the fresh slices. Keanu invited the boys to share the table, and they dug in with visible relief. Around them, whispers of recognition and admiration spread through the room, but Keanu remained focused on the boys. For a moment, the world shrank to just that table, a place of laughter, warmth, and reprieve. It wasn't just about the pizza. It was about the sense of dignity and care Keanu had given them. As the boys savored their pizza, the door to Bella's Pizza swung open, letting in a rush of cold air. A woman in scrubs stepped inside, her movements hurried, her face etched with worry. Her eyes scanned the room frantically until they landed on the corner table where her sons sat. For a moment, her expression froze, her gaze darting from Liam and Owen to the man sitting with them. "Mama!" Owen called out, his voice breaking the silence as he waved her over. The woman, Megan, hurried across the room, her anxiety melting into disbelief as she recognized the man at the table. "You're Keanu Reeves?" she asked, her voice a mixture of shock and gratitude. Keanu stood, extending his hand warmly. "I am," he said with a kind smile. "You must be Liam and Owen's mom. They're great kids." Megan's face softened, and tears welled in her eyes. "Thank you," she said, her voice trembling. "It's been hard lately. I work nights at the hospital, and it's not easy keeping everything together." Keanu nodded, his expression understanding. "You're doing an incredible job," he said sincerely. "They told me about their dreams. Liam wants to be a firefighter, and Owen's ready to take on dinosaurs. You've raised amazing boys." Megan chuckled through her tears, the weight on her shoulders momentarily lifting. "They are amazing," she said, her voice filled with pride. "But some days I feel like I'm barely holding on." Keanu reached into his jacket pocket, pulling out a card. "If you ever need support," he said, placing it in her hand, "this is my team's number. They can help with anything, legal advice, housing, whatever you need." Megan stared at the card, her hands trembling. I don't know what to say," she whispered. "You don't have to say anything," Keanu replied. "You're not alone." As Megan clutched the card, Liam and Owen exchanged glances, their faces glowing with hope. For the first time in weeks, it felt like their world might shift towards something better. As Megan and her sons prepared to leave Bella's Pizza, she turned to Keanu, her gratitude evident in her tearful smile. "You've done more for us than I can ever repay," she said softly. Keanu shook his head, his expression humble yet resolute. "You don't owe me anything," he replied. "We're all in this together." Megan and her boys walked out into the cool night air, their burdens feeling just a little lighter. Keanu lingered by the door for a moment, watching them disappear down the street. The hum of the pizzeria returned to normal, but the whispers among the patrons carried something more profound. One customer leaned to another, murmuring, "That's Keanu Reeves. He just changed their lives." For Keanu, this wasn't about recognition. It was about something much deeper, acknowledging humanity where it's often overlooked. What he gave them wasn't just a meal or an offer of support, it was dignity, hope, and the reminder that even in a chaotic world, kindness can bridge the gaps that divide us. This story isn't just about Keanu Reeves. It's a reminder of how a simple gesture can ripple outward, touching lives in ways we may never fully understand. We all have the power to make someone's day a little brighter, to ease a burden, or to give someone the courage to keep going. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Let's share more stories of kindness, connection, and humanity, and maybe inspire each other to make a difference, one small act at a time.